Tell us about Killerspin. That's a cool company. It's really, really fun to watch what you've done with that. Tell us about that.
So Killerspin is I started it because I used to be a trader. And what I thought was, this was in 2002, I've been a trader in the 80s, and I was there during the crash. So that was funny. I was actually a technical analyst, and I knew we were going to have a crash. So I saw that whole thing out. I mean, I was there when the 87 crash happened. I was on the floor. I would say it was the closest thing I can imagine to a typhoon. It was not a typhoon, what do you call that? The tidal wave. It was just something unbelievable. A tsunami, that's the word I'm looking for, thanks. So I remember the experience, and since I studied the trading of history, you can start to recognize patterns, and people get, the time to worry is when everybody is riding high. The time to be brave is when everybody's panicked. That's what I think, like the role of a CEO. As a CEO, you need to be worried when everybody's asking you for a bunch of money and to spend a bunch of money on stuff and isn't life so good. That's a time where you ought to be a little bit cautious. And the time where everybody's panicked and freaking out, that's a time where that's a time of opportunity. You need to tell people, calm down, especially if you have to calm yourself down and get past the fear. So with Killerspin, in 2000, Chicago had something called the Ping Pong Festival. I said, we don't have any relationships in the public sector. I think the stock market's going to crash. We should diversify into the public sector. So we sponsored something called the Ping Pong Festival. And the Ping Pong Festival was something a woman named Lois Weisberg, who's the head of cultural affairs, had. And she put 300 tables out all across the city. We were a sponsor. And then she asked me to be the chairman of the Ping Pong Festival, which I did. And whenever there were tables around, there was always just lines of people to play. So I started to get what I call this entrepreneurial itch, what I call it. I said, there's something there. You know, everybody in the world knows table tennis, but nobody can name the name of a brand. Therefore, there's a space there. If we can build a brand around that, and we can make table tennis beautiful, then what we can do is we can create a great brand in a category that's commoditized. So we started Killerspin, and we started off being a media company. So we produced these big events, and we ended up being a partner with ESPN. So we had done things that nobody had ever done previously in the sport. And then we got really quickly known around the world because I think people that like table tennis wanted table tennis to get the same respect that other sports got. In fact, in 2001, when I decided I was going to start Killerspin and I was going to create this event, I wanted to see if I could have the best players in the world come and be a part of this event. Now, nothing like this had ever happened in the United States. So I actually went to China and I got a meeting with the head of their Olympic committee. And I showed him a video. I said, this is my vision for what table tennis can be. Would you participate in this event? It's the 30-year anniversary of ping pong diplomacy. Would you come and participate in this event? Now, this was kind of like getting Jerry Reinsdorf to send the Bulls to my basketball tournament when Michael Jordan was there. But he did it. And we did it, and it was successful. And we had really changed the presentation of table tennis in the world. So the company was about helping people to connect with the people that they love and that they need their love through table tennis. Now, the company now is about what I call unplug and play. which is about connecting with people you love and that need your love through what we call break time play. So any kind of play that you can do around break time, what the company does is it facilitates that connectivity. Because one of the things I think that's coming out of this COVID thing is people now have, I would say in some way, retrogressed 30 years where people ate breakfast together, they went to work or school and then they ate dinner together. I think that is something that's been lost on lots of people. And I think people are going to have to feel now the importance of human connection. Because I think we've been in this technology days for a while where people are confusing efficient communication with human relationships. Relationships are something that happen in person. So imagine you're in a jail cell and you have everything you want in a jail cell. You got a computer, you can communicate with anybody you want. You got a refrigerator, you got your exercise equipment, you can do whatever you want, but you're locked up in that jail cell. Void of human contact. You soon you will become mentally ill. And that's what happens in jail, right? People go into solitary confinement. They become mentally ill, not because there's any disease inside there. It's because they're devoid. Humans are social animals.
Sure.
They need people. They need other people in order to be healthy. So on the other side, this is one of the challenges. It's also going to come out of this COVID crisis. Those people that don't have families and everything, the isolation is going to start to create some mental challenges for people.
Sure.
So what Killerspin is all about is helping people connect again to the people that they love and that need their love through play. And when I started playing that's what I did with my father. Me and my father would play together. And it turns out that I used to tell the story why, I have these memories of me and my father playing. And I said, well, this is how I knew my father loved me until he corrected me. He said, well, I got to tell you the real story. He said, the real story is my father's, again, 23 years older than me. So I'm a teenager. He's in his 30s. He's focused on his career. And my mother said to him, I know you're focused on your career and you're busy, but don't forget you have a son. So don't be a bum and spend time with your son. So not wanting to make my mother mad, he gave in and bought a table tennis table. And that's what me and my father did together. And then that's what me and my friends did together. So almost everybody has these memories of them playing table tennis with somebody. And usually it is somebody that you care about.
How's business been and during this this shutdown and all that? How's business been for you?
Well, actually, we're surviving. We're kind of doing well because people need activities in their home. The corporate part of the business is totally shut down, obviously, but the home business it's holding its own. It's doing well.
Where do you sell Killerspin? Online? Is it
It's only online.
Totally online.
Yes. So most of our sales are either through our own website or through Amazon. The high-end things we sell ourselves, and Amazon sells most of the low-end things.
And what do you feel? Is there anything you've done innovatively to change the industry or to push the industry to a different place? And your brand is awesome. Was there anything else you've been able to do in quality of equipment, technology?
Well, we decided that we were not going to be a technology company. There are companies that are technology companies, and what they focus on is, let's call it performance equipment for people where let's say golf or tennis or table tennis in this case is their primary sport. That's the thing that they like to do most. So it would be, there is a table tennis equivalent of Head, of Wilson, of Spalding. Those are just, in our view, manufacturers of equipment. Killerspin's a totally different company. What we are focused on is making table tennis beautiful. beautiful equipment, beautiful experiences. So everything to us is about beautiful and picking a space where we can be number one in the world in. So we created the designer category. We created the media category. We created, when we started, we focused on promoting women, which nobody had ever done. Where 70% of the people that play are men. But we said we're going to go really against the grain, because I believe in business, the only thing that protects margin is differentiation. If you're not differentiated, you will be a commodity really fast. So brand and differentiation is the key, in my view, to having a business that has margin.